Dad, are we home yet? Dad, are we nearly home yet? Dad, are we home? I love a road trip. Welcome to something for the weekend. GoPro, stop recording.
I don't know what the hell he was going to do.
GoPro, stop recording. Hi everybody, welcome to Big OGGIE Golf. Welcome to Big OGGIE Golf on the road.
Yes.
Or on the motorway. We're on the M4.
We're on the M4.
Hopefully this will work, but it might be a bit noisy, but we'll do our best. So, we have been on quite a road trip today. I left my house at 3:45.
Yeah, well, you picked me up at my...
You picked me up, or I went to your house.
We changed cars at 1:45.
Changed car, that's the one. And yeah, we have just been to, well, we've been to Orca Golf HQ.
We have.
Which is up by Leighton Buzzard.
Yeah, we've been there and we've met the main man, Alex.
Yeah, been about 5.5 hours, 6 hour trip to get here, and now we're on the way back. You had quite an exhausting experience.
Yeah, it was quite a workout. Yeah, quite a workout, really.
Yeah, it was very hot today, very humid. As nearly a drive-in, I just thought very quickly say we went because for the last, I reckon about a year or so, you've been saying that you really like to try Orca irons and to be fitted for Orca irons.
Yeah, sort of a professional building.
Professional building, not a fitting, exactly. Yeah. Some of you may know about Orca Golf, some may not, but it's a highly reputable, kind of very specialist company, really.
Yeah, they've won a lot of awards.
A lot of big awards around the world, but kind of sometimes under the radar of the main suppliers. And Alex is exceptionally knowledgeable, and just the way he does things is, well, not necessarily unique, but it's just built around a personal experience.
It is, yeah. It's all about the experience for the customer.
And the longevity of that as well.
Indeed. There's no pressure with him, you know, he will try to optimise clubs for your game.
Yeah.
And then build you that set, you know, to do so.
So, you've been fitted. Hopefully by now you would have seen the video that I put out of the actual fitting, which, with a bit of luck, if I could edit it really well, you'll have understood, because it's very educational as well.
Well, there's a lot to be learned in it.
Yeah, and you bought and paid for your irons.
Yeah.
This is no freebies in this. Someone just asked me a question on Instagram as to why was I not fitted? Well, I can't afford to buy irons right now. Simple as that. If anyone would like to give me a deal, fine. But right now, I'm just buying cameras and stuff. So this is all about NEAL's 4x40. You've had a couple of, well, let's say makeshift sets over the years that you kind of built yourself.
I have, yeah. I mean, I was last fitted in 2003 for a set of ping irons, and then I've gone through changed irons in the past, and the Slazenger blades I've been using I built myself, and you'll see in the video that they're not quite uniform. No, we'll say.
Yeah, certainly in Alex's eyes there was a lot of issues with them, but that's kind of expected.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have the loft and line machine, or I didn't have the swing weight machine to be able to check that. It was more patch stuff together while I could, and with what money I had at the time. Yeah.
So I will say the experience was excellent. The people there, Alex, and no gentleman was there on us, but I didn't get his name, who
John.
was also there, John, right?
Same name
same name as me, that's what he said.
Yeah,
I forgot. I was carrying a camera, mate. Made us most welcome. It's a lovely place, very relaxed. There was no rush whatsoever. I think the whole kind of experience, like when we got there, coffee, chat, and everything afterwards, after experience, about 2 hours. Yeah, probably. The fitting's about an hour and a quarter.
Yeah, normal fitting about an hour and a quarter, and it's just so in depth, and yeah, it's a real good experience.
Yeah. So the other good thing is we believe the irons will be available in about 10 days.
Yeah, which is quite surprising. I know there's a lot of companies out there that are struggling to get components, shafts, grips, etc. But yeah, he's hoping for a 10-day turnaround.
Yeah, so we look forward to a unboxing, stroke what's in the bag with you very soon. You'll be doing that at home by yourself.
Yeah, so we'll get one of
keep
those.
the camera steady, mate, with all the excitement.
I will. Yeah. I'll try not to shake too much.
Okay. So part of this video, the 4x40, You would have now, by the time this video goes out, you'll have seen the fitting. You've already hopefully seen Neil's solo round at West Cornwall, which for the most part you did very well.
Yeah,
there were the kind of issues you had to worry with.
Yeah, there was a couple of bits, but I think
wasn't far off.
I think we
thought
there was a bit of an issue with the putter, but I think between me and John, we've worked out what the problem is.
Oh, I don't mind saying it. I mean, you know, maybe it was the greens.
I think it was the greens.
Yeah, there's a lot of work happening on the greens at West Corn right now, and maybe it was that. Purely because I think we went to St Austell, which hopefully these videos will have gone out now. This will be on just after that. This is the latest of the kind of Saturday show experiences that we're doing. The what's
something for the weekend.
Something for the weekend. I didn't even know what it was. There's only about two. Blimey. So this will go out after the two St Austell videos.
Yep.
And I think the greens were just better there, and you putted better.
I did. It was what the issue was at West Cornwall was longer putts were bouncing, and I thought it was down to the putter. I thought it was down to my stroke, but it turns out they have done a lot of work there at the West Cornwall greens. And the harder you hit a putt, the more susceptible it is to get a bounce. And they've done some work with seeding and trying to get the drainage right on there and get the greens prepped, and that was causing a bit of a bump on the putts on the longer
Seems
ones.
like it.
The shorter putts weren't as bad, but after playing at St Austell, I did notice longer putts. There was no bouncing. There was roll rather than the bounce.
Yeah, but you will have seen at St Austell, apart from I think I played better than I have done for a while.
You did indeed.
I'm working on Dan Hendrickson's new swing idea for me for my driver, and that's kind of happening on the St Austell one, although it was the day after my lesson, so it's not as perfect. You would have seen the driver lesson already on the channel. You had a head fit at one point. You just had a brain fade.
Something went at one point, and
So, carry on.
I don't know if it was tiredness or just, I don't know, something went.
Yeah, and we've been kind of thinking this for a while, and I'm not disrespecting you in any way.
No.
Mentally, you are a little fragile when it comes to golf.
I can be. I can be very fragile when it comes to golf. I can go out and play a practice round, and I can do whatever I want, and I can shoot well. However, once I get a piece of paper and a pencil in my hand, it all just goes to pot.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I pressure myself too much, but then it's good to have the pressure to work towards that goal.
Well, you've put yourself on a self-imposed pressure in the 4x40.
Yeah.
And personally, I think right now you don't play enough actual golf. So every round you play tends to be on film, which is a pressure in itself, but also tends to be, because you're playing once a week, that's the round. It has to be right.
That's it.
You don't have enough rounds before your birthday to go, I can have a few up and down ones, and as long as I get one good one every 4, it will start going down.
I totally agree. I mean, it's not necessarily that I'm not playing, so to speak. I'm practicing.
It's playing actual rounds.
And it's actual getting the rounds in where, I'm not hitting on the driving range.
Yeah. And with other people that you can verify it.
That's
one of the issues. I did a Merlin round the other day, but I couldn't verify it because it's just me and a camera. You go without a camera, but by yourself.
I mean, when it comes to golf, I do consider myself socially retarded in a way. That I'll normally turn up and I'll just go out and play on my own. I know a lot of people at my golf club, but I don't know a lot of people that I can go and play around the golf with, which doesn't help.
No, and on a slight tangent to that, please comment. This is what the Something for the Weekend shows are about. There's going to be lots of conversation kind of things. We want you to comment. What is it like when you're at your golf club? Do you tend to have your own gang of little people you play all the time with, or are you a bit like Neil, who know quite a lot of people, but don't really get to organise the round to be with those people? So you kind of arrive at the course, there's no one really available to play with, and you get golf by yourself because it's easier. Yeah,
I mean, some people are lucky. I mean, how I work, or where I work, I generally work shift work, and I don't normally get the weekends off to play competitions or roll-ups or anything like that. So I take my days off in the week whenever I can. And a lot of people that I would play with, they're generally 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, with the weekend off to play golf. So I think that kind of is a hindrance to me in the playing. I can't just go and change my job.
No, and like we said, the thing about the 4x40 is life gets in the way.
It does.
And there are life changes that happen all the time to people, and you just got to kind of work at your game and do the best you can. That's fine, and you haven't given up on the 4x40. We're definitely doing it. This is why we've gone to Alex Orca to get some decent clubs again for you to help it. Whether it becomes 4x41, who knows? That's just in the future.
4 by the end of 40.
Or by the end of 40, exactly, by the end of 40. But the last couple of rounds, you've just blipped a little bit. Only slightly, but the handicap has risen slightly.
It has risen a little bit.
And you are a puddle glove. You really get, not depressed about it, but I will play with Neil, and at the end he'll send me WhatsApp messages and go, oh, that didn't go right today, and how did the filming go? And I was really having pants situations with the driver, or badly. You find the negative parts about your round, and you build them up. You forget the positives in the round.
And that's sort of just a negative attitude of mine that I've had since school, really. You know, it's stemmed from there. But I mean, I could break down the rounds that we had at West Cornwall, 38 putts, or whatever it was, around there. St Austell went around, and I think I had 28 or something.
Much better on the putting, but something went wrong with the driving.
Something went wrong with the long game.
West Cornwall, your long game was absolutely...
It was the best it's ever been.
Done on a road job, wasn't it? It was solid.
So that was probably the best striking I've hit the ball to date.
Yeah.
But the short game wasn't there. But then at St Austell, the short game or the putting was there, but the longer game wasn't.
So again, we're trying to go back into the mental side of the game. If you've got any questions or comments about or advice about the mental side of the game, how can you deal with first tee nerves? How can you deal with whether your game doesn't start off well on a round, and you can kind of deal with it later on? Any help, everybody, because this is important. I find that you're very much an emotional player. If you start well, you're going to be on fire for the round.
That's it. I mean, generally when I start bad, I start to think I've got to make up those shots now. I'm 4 over par after 4. I've got to start to get shots back. I've got to start to make pars, birdies. And I don't know if I overpressure myself in that way. But I think the next round that we play, or I play, I'm going to try to put a bit of strategy into it.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to break the round down. And by that, I'm going to break the round down into 3 hole.
I think that's an excellent idea. Little mini rounds all the way through.
So after the 3 holes, right? So 1, 2, 3, play those holes, and then I'll forget about that, and I'll start a new game for the next 3, and so on all the way around 18. So hopefully that may alleviate some of the pressure in certain situations if I do fall back on shots, because I'm starting a new game from scratch then for 3 holes.
I think it's something that I think someone contacted you. You were chatting with someone recently, maybe at the range, talking about that, and actually Alex literally said the same thing when we were chatting off camera. That you've got to kind of forget that if you have the first couple of bad holes, it can't destroy your round, because maybe you have the next 7 holes really good and you're on par. So after 9, you're probably 4 over or something, where you might have been 4 over on the first 2. That doesn't mean your round's had it.
No, exactly.
But people get obsessed with the scoring of things.
And I mean, Alex did say that, you know, the next, or the most important shot is the next shot.
Is your next one.
So you've got to think about that and take that into consideration and try to stay. And there's a lot of people with go into the psychology of it, about staying in the present, etc. But that is true. And try to focus on that shot rather than the previous or 3 holes before or whatever. So trying to break it down, split it up into little mini games for myself, hopefully will help.
I think so. I've never really seen you have like first tee nerves as such, not on a channel with cameras and things. But something you did tell me the other day is you feel under pressure now because people have seen you on the channel.
That's it. I mean,
it's not stardom, but it's like people expect something from you.
People expect, and there's some competitions around Cornwall that I want to enter into, and I don't know. In my head, there's that pressure that I've seen him on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh.
Again, it's a self-inflicted pressure. Sorry.
There's a pressure there that I need to meet their expectations how, you know, for that round that I play. So yeah, I just need to try to combat those nerves.
Okay, so one of the reasons why we're discussing the mental side of the game is actually the month of May, which we're still in,
Yes.
is actually Mental Health Awareness Month, and it's not just about whether you have depression or anxiety or those kind of things. It's about mental health in all sorts of work, whether it be business or work side of things, or even play side of things, sports side of stuff. So the mental health, psychology, etc., is a very important part of the game.
It is indeed.
We were discussing as we were driving along earlier without the camera about how very serious sports professionals are using analysts and psychologists, etc., and how maybe some amateurs should take some of that idea from the game, from the ideas. We read them, we see them on Twitter. I've got someone on Twitter who's a sports psychologist, and you see some of his quotes, but do we really as an amateurs think too much about it if we're trying to get better?
That's it. I mean, I've been reading some of the Bob Rotella books, and partway through another one at the moment, and it's quite enlightening, you know, what you read in there and the little snippets you can take and put into your game. Yeah, I mean,
maybe we should start taking the game a little bit more seriously.
Maybe.
Doesn't stop you having fun.
No. Oh no, not at all. I mean, it should be fun foremost.
I always say if it's not fun, don't play.
Yeah.
But there's also a fun in trying to get better. It's a different kind of fun.
That's it.
So to improve, before we finish this very quickly, to improve as another little update, you reckon you struggled at St Austell with your short game, which is the thing we've always discussed as your best part of your game.
It's always been that little facet of the game that's always been there. But recently I'm standing over a chip, I'm standing over a pitch, and I'm just like, I don't know where the ball's going to go.
Which is just unheard of.
Back to the round at West Cornwall, I'm 70 yards out, I've got a 60-degree wedge in my hand, and I thin it 30 yards through a green. Now that would never happen before, and something in my head has just gone, oh, short game, no. So I'm going to go to Chris, and we're going to have a little...
Speak to Chris Gill.
Speak to Chris Gill, get a little short game lesson in there.
He's certainly worked wonders with your long irons and everything.
He has indeed. So he's a bit of a short game specialist. So yeah, try to get the short game back tack sharp as it was.
Yeah, I think right now, don't be depressed at the fact you've had a little blip. It's only gone up very slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 quite tough rounds, very tough courses. We only played St Austell once, really, in the last year and a half, so you didn't know much about the course again. Work back on the game that you used to be really good at. Understand the fact that your game you've improved on at certain points is really good. You're going to get those rounds that are good. It's all going to slide into place. But just don't panic yet. We're a long way off 40th birthday, mate.
We'll get there.
Yeah, we will. So that was just a very little quick update, a bit rambling, because we're just trying, Neil's driving down the motorway and I'm just trying to stay awake, really. It's been a long day. So I hope you kind of understood that and enjoy it. And if you've got any advice about how to deal with nerves, how to deal with the pressures of playing golf and trying to improve, make some sensible suggestions, please. It'll be very good, and hopefully that'll add to the community side of the game.
I mean, I've still got a bit of a way to go on the 4x4.
Yeah, you have.
216 days.
That's the thing. Yeah, don't start ticking off the days yet, mate. Lots of life in you yet. Lots of life in that not quite old dog.
That's it.
Yeah, it'll be fine. So, as I said, this is a kind of something for the weekend show. It's still not the magazine style show that we're going to be creating, but that's happening very soon. And with a bit of luck, we might even have a little guest star coming on it on a regular basis from after what happened today. We'll let you know in the fullness of time. But for now, it's just another little conversation video. Thank you very much for watching. Please subscribe, please hit the notification bell, do all those things, and come and follow my adventures and quite often Neil's adventures in golf, wherever we may be. Bye for now, everybody. Speak soon.
Thanks for watching.